let's dive straight in. I have a demo over here, and it has a cute little sort of market scene that you can see here. Here we go. Like that. And you can already immediately see one new thing in Unity 5.6, and that's on the right-hand side here, over here. That's the new Light Explorer. It's a single window that you can use to, at a very quick glance, get an overview of how the lighting in this scene works. For instance, in this scene, I can see I have a bunch of hologram lights and a few lights from the market stall. I can see that I have a bunch of spotlights and a bunch of area lights. And here in the mode, you can see that all the lights are baked. And that's really convenient to have one place to sort of get the understanding of how lighting in a scene works, because it's not always, you can light a scene in very different ways, and it's nice to know which one is being used. In this specific case, you can see, because it's all baked, that's a very typical setup if you want to target like low-end mobile hardware. So all the lights are just baked into the light map. You can specify the intensity of the lights, colors, and over here on the right side, you also have like the shadow types. Okay, so that's one new thing, the Light Explorer. Let's take a look at what we can do with these light settings here. So it says baked here. If I select that, you can see that I can tell a light to be a real-time light. That's the most accurate. These lights you can move around at runtime. You can disable them, enable them, change their color. However, they're also the most expensive. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have a baked light. A baked light. So a baked light, it doesn't even actually exist at runtime. The only thing it does is it contributes lighting and shadows into the light map. Now, the big thing that we did for Unity 5.6 in terms of lighting is that we brought this mix mode back. So we've completely re-implemented the way we implement mixed mode lighting. And a mixed mode light, what it does, it's a light that's able to, for static objects, cast the lighting and the shadows into the light map, but then still have the ability to, at runtime, for dynamic objects, such as your character, to still cast the shadow of the character onto the ground. And of course, you might want to make sure that the character of the dynamic object, of the character that gets casted onto the ground, doesn't double shadow with the shadows of the static objects that were already put into the light map. Okay, so those are two things. The Light Explorer, completely re-implemented mixed mode lighting, and then the third and the biggest new lighting feature in Unity 5.6 is a brand new Progressive Lightmapper. Let me show you how it works. So I'm just going to zoom into this, to this market stall here. I think they sell vegetables, or like this one's actually sells skulls for some reason. I'm not sure what's up with that. I'm gonna select this light here. So notice that this is an area light. And area lights are typically very expensive to calculate, but because this one is a baked light, we only bake it into the light map, so you're not paying for it at runtime. So I like to use them because these area lights give a very nice distribution of light. Let's see, how does this work again? I am going to change the color of this light. I'm going to make it a bit more red or pink. And because it's not a real-time light, you don't see the results. Only after a few seconds, as I was talking, did you see the sort of pink-reddish come up. And what you're actually seeing here is this pink-red coming up from the actual light map that was generated in these few seconds that I was talking. And that's really the killer feature of this new light mapper. It moves the first point of feedback very close in time, where traditionally, it might have taken half an hour for the light map to fully bake. You can actually look in the bottom here. It says that before this light map is fully baked, it's probably going to take another 18 minutes. But you don't really care anymore, because you can already tell that this pink is probably not the most artistically well choice I could have made for this light. So the first point of feedback in your lighting, whether or not it's a color of a light or the position of a light or the intensity of a light, is much, much sooner, which allows you to iterate much, much faster. This is also, by the way, the progressive part of the Progressive Lightmapper. It's that we first make a very low-resolution version of the light map, and then we just continue to make it better over time. There's one more trick that we use to make sure that this first point of feedback is very soon, and that is that we make sure that we only light map the part of the scene that you're actually looking at. So if I'm going to quickly zoom out here, you'll notice that the only part of the scene that was actually light mapped is this part that I was looking at. And only now that I've zoomed out is it going to start actually baking the rest of the scene. And you can see that the light maps for that are going to come in like that. Okay, so those three things combined, the new Light Explorer, completely redone mixed mode lighting, and a brand new Progressive Lightmapper, those three things combined, they make sure that Unity 5.6 delivers an artist experience for lighting scenes that is much better than ever before. Now, continuing on the topic of graphics, Unity 5.6 also ships with out-of-the-box support for Vulkan. Vulkan is a new low-level graphics API, and we've teamed up with ARM and Infinite Dreams to take a look at the effect of what happens when you run their game Skyforce Reloaded on Vulkan instead of on OpenGLES. Let's take a look. So what you're looking at here on the right side is this game running on OpenGLES, and on the left side it runs on Vulkan. It's running on a Samsung Galaxy S7, and it's the exact same content on both sides, and what we're seeing is about like a 10 to 15% reduction in battery consumption. So that's pretty cool. And I love telling this story because when a new graphics API like Vulkan shows up, or when a new platform shows up, it's really the area where Unity really shines for its developers. Because Unity developers, they don't have to spend the time and money to port their game to Vulkan to get these performance improvements. If you build your game on Unity, these kinds of performance improvements, they are just delivered to your doorstep for free in the shape of a checkbox. In the shape of a checkbox. So that's Vulkan. Actually, we have a talk about Vulkan, about sort of our implementation of it, which is Thursday at 10 a.m. in the West Hall, if you're interested in that. Another graphics API that has seen some love in Unity 5.6 is Metal. We've extended our Metal support to have Metal compute shaders and to have the ability to run the Unity editor itself on Metal, which is great because it allows you to already see what your content looks like in Metal without having to deploy to the device. And we have a guest speaker with us here today who's been taking advantage of Metal for their newest game, and I'd like to invite to stage Tae-Hoon Kim, founder and CEO of NWay.
Hey, thank you.
Hey, Tae-Hoon.
Yep.
Good to
Super excited to be here. Thank you very much for inviting us here. So NWay was founded in 2011 with the vision of developing console-quality, synchronous multiplayer games for the mobile and browser platforms. We're based in San Francisco, and we have been using Unity since 2011 to develop our first game, Chronoblade. Creating mobile games with high-quality AAA console-like graphics is one of the pillars of our company, and using Unity allows us to achieve this while maintaining high frame rate and graphical fidelity in our games. Unity's tools and community support also make developing online multiplayer games very easy, including our latest project, Power Rangers Legacy Wars. So Power Rangers Legacy Wars is a real-time multiplayer fighting game that features Rangers from the new movie, as well as fan-favorite Rangers and villains from the Power Rangers multiverse. This is the first time that players can play a synchronous mobile fighting game over the network, and we're very excited. Using Unity allowed us to achieve high-end graphics for both Android and iOS without requiring any customization work or sacrificing performance. At NWay, we strive to create console-quality game experiences on mobile devices so that when people play them, others pay attention. A prime example of that is when iOS devices using Apple's A7 onward processors run our games, basically post iPhone 5S devices that take advantage of Apple's new Metal API. We noticed significant performance improvements on these devices for both graphical and non-graphical aspects of our game. They helped us provide that extra realism, detail, and interactivity while running at high frame rate. You'll notice Metal shine during our demo of the Legacy Wars. So we'd like to show you what we're talking about, and we brought some special guests and helpers who have experience with this subject matter. So please welcome to the stage Ludi Lin, the Black Ranger from the upcoming Power Rangers movie, and Jason David Frank, Green Ranger from the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Hi, guys. So Power Rangers Legacy Wars is a real-time head-to-head mobile fighting game where players create teams of Rangers and villains from Power Rangers history, including the upcoming feature film. And this game marks the first time ever that players will be able to fight with Rangers from different eras and villains side by side. So today we have the real Rangers from the past and the present ready to fight each other on stage and game. So Ludi's going to play himself, the Black Ranger. JDF is going to play Green Ranger himself. And I'm really wondering who's going to win. Who do you think is going to win, Lucas?
All right.
Only me? Yes.
So Legacy Wars is a little bit unique in that it's not a button mash game. You have the energy system you can see at the middle, where we regenerates, and you have to be smart about what to do at the right time. This makes a synchronous gameplay where you're playing live human opponent much more exciting and much better.
Ow. I'm so losing this bet.
That's right. Here we go.
Come on.
There's a Black Ranger right there for you.
I just came from China. I'm with Grog.
I don't play video games. Ooh. All right, Pink.
Will Black
let's
Ranger
go.
make a comeback? Ooh. Oh, the Green Ranger wins!
Oh, no. Oh.
Winner.
Oh, no.
Green Ranger is supposed to be the most powerful ranger in the multiverse, right?
Got the extra shoulder pad that everybody loves.
So that's our demo. Do you guys have anything to add for us?
Yes, the video game comes out March 23rd. It's available on iOS and Androids. And I tell you what, I can't wait to battle players from around the world. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, what goes better? With video games than movies, right? So check under your seats right now, because you'll find tickets to Power Rangers, the movie, premiering in March on the 24th.
Woohoo!
Free tickets.
Yes.
So I can't wait to sit around playing video games with everyone around the world and watch the movie with everybody. So I want to give a big thanks to Adam Tickets and of course Lionsgate. So powerful thank you, and come watch the movie. Go, go, go.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Taihun.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Don't leave just yet. Don't leave just yet.
Thank you so much.
I know we have to compete with the movie, but bear with us. All right. So that wraps up graphics for Unity 5.6. Lots of features in the area of lighting, metal compute, and there's actually also a completely new video player. It runs natively on all the different platforms that's able to run 4K video, which is great if you want to do like 360 VR. So let's move on to quality and stability. John mentioned that we spend a lot of time and effort and energy into making sure that when we ship Unity, we ship it as the highest level of quality and stability that we can. However, we're not the only ones that are trying to ship high-quality software. Obviously, Unity developers themselves are also trying to do that. And I want to show you one of Unity's online features that helps people with that. Let's take a look. So, as it's one of Unity's online features, I have it open in my browser here. Let me just refresh that to just be sure. So what I have here is a system that lets you see what kind of problems exist with your game in the wild. So let's pretend, I heard from a coworker that they were trying the game and that they saw some sort of error message that mentioned something about a crate. I can go in here and I can actually search this database for crate. And I can see that there's actually been 54 reports of this problem. Let's take a look at what it looks like. You can get an overview of the call stack of this problem. And you can see when the problem started happening. It started happening on February 17, and it looks like it's actually still happening to this day. So maybe February 17, you remember like, oh yeah, that was kind of when I changed this thing. Yeah, maybe that was me. You can see the kinds of devices and OSs it happens on and the version of your game. Now, What we added to the system for Unity 5.6, hear me, Unity 4.6, that was a long time ago. That one was cool too, actually. So for Unity 5.6 is we added support for native crashes. So if you have a native plugin that crashes, or maybe Unity itself crashes on your game, you can actually find these now too. So if I have a native crash right here, you can see that if the crash happens in C++, we actually give you a full C++ call stack that will give you more information as to figuring out why the hell this is happening. This game I have here, Tanks, actually is a very good example of a game that uses many of Unity's online features very effectively. If I go to the analytics part of this website, I can check out how many people are actually playing my game, how many sessions there are. I can check out my MAUs and my DAUs and my ARP DAUs. I can do funnel analysis to figure out, that maybe all my players are actually leaving the game after level 4. So maybe that one is too hard, or too easy, or too long. This game also uses Cloud Build. If I select that, Cloud Build is an online feature where you can have the Unity servers actually make the builds for your game, so that you don't have to wait for them to finish for you to continue to work locally. As you can see here, I have this thing set up for a whole bunch of iOS and Android variations and some Windows ones. And if I just want to, let's say I have a fix for that crate problem, if I just publish that fix and I want to make a build, instead of making the build on my own machine, why not have Unity do it? So I'm going to just click Start New Build here because I can, and it's going to start all of them. And when they finish, let me just take a finished one here. When they're finished and you want to send this build to maybe the producer of your game, or a client if you're doing a contract job, or in my case, mostly my mom, you would click the share button. My mom has an Android phone, so I take an Android one, and I would just share. I would just send her this link, and she's able to play the build just like that. This game also uses Collaborate, which is in open beta right now. And Collaborate is a feature where you can have Unity host your source code and make it easier to work with multiple people on the same project. Collaborate, it's in open beta right now. You can sign up at unity3d.com/collaborate. And all these different online features that I've showed you, they're all available in Unity 5.6 today. So I very much recommend that you take advantage of them. All right, on the topic of efficiency is probably my favorite demo of today. Efficiency, developer productivity. The biggest thing in this area in Unity 5.6 is that we're shipping a whole new set of navigation tools. Let's take a look. I have my demo right here, and I have a navigation mesh in the scene. And if I hit play, you can see my character is running around, and she gets chased by a shark for no apparent reason. You can already see that this Navmesh surface is no longer a scene-based thing, but it's actually a component right here. And because it's in a component, I can have more than one. So let me add one. I'm going to do Navmesh surface. And for this one, I'm actually going to say that the agent type is going to be for a bit bigger agent. It's going to be for a shark-sized character. I'm going to bake it. And then you see that I have two navigation meshes in the same scene. Let me go to my Sharkman here and convince him that he is a shark. Hit play. And now you can see that the character is able to pass through these two tables, but the shark actually gets stuck. Now, because these Navmesh surfaces are now components, that means they can also exist on prefabs. So let me just take this prefab here and throw it in the scene. There you go. So now you can notice that this prefab, it has a pre-baked navigation mesh on it. And if you look closely, there's a new component here, a Navmesh link, which connects these two navigation meshes to each other. And it doesn't only do that like at the position of the link here in the middle, but it does it across the whole width of this blue rectangle over here. Bless you. Let's hit play, see what happens. So the character is able to go there, and she's able to navigate to the other navigation mesh as well. So that means I can have more than one navigation mesh, I can connect them dynamically, and also they can have any orientation you want, so you can now also use it for 2D games. And the best thing about it, what I like most, is that you can do all of this at runtime as well. Let me show you. I have a scene here that generates a procedural maze every time you hit play. Let's take a look. So this mesh was just generated dynamically, and I set it up so that the character follows this target around. So if I'm just going to tell her to go there, she'll just go there. And let's try what happens if I start to modify the scene at runtime. So notice that we're in play mode, so this is in runtime. I can just take this block, delete it, take that one, these guys. Maybe I want to move this one here, maybe move that one there, maybe take one of these blocks and move it all the way up. Now, if I'm going to move the target again, notice that the navigation mesh is going to rebake around this new geometry. Let's take a look. There you go. So these four things combined, the fact that you can have more than one in a scene, the fact that you can hook them up together with Navmesh links, the fact that you can have them at any orientation you want, and the fact that you can do all of that at runtime means that this new set of navigation tools is applicable to a very wide range of games. Whether you want to make a 3D game or a 2D game, or a game that changes a lot, where the environment changes at runtime, or even a game that's completely procedurally generated, these navigation tools can work for you. And obviously, as with every release, there's always some news in the area of platform growth. Unity 5.6 adds yet again 2 more platforms to the never-ending crazy list. We have to make it all work. On the never-ending crazy list of platforms that Unity developers can bring their content to. And this time around, it's support for Google Daydream and Google Cardboard for Android as well as iOS. There's one more thing I want to mention. There's a package on the Asset Store that we're particularly fond of, and it's called TextMesh Pro. And I'm very happy to say that we are working to make TextMesh Pro part of Unity and available in Unity out of the box. In addition to that, we've made sure that the existing TextMesh Pro package, on the Asset Store is freely available today. So if you want to add text to your Unity project, go to the Asset Store and you can start using it today. Now, Unity 5.6, it's the latest release in this 2-year arc of the 5x cycle. The Unity 5x cycle has brought an enormous amount of new features, an enormous amount of improvements, bug fixes, and not to mention the enormous amount of new platforms that you can bring your content to. We're in the development team, we're incredibly proud of the whole 5x cycle and the 5.6 release specifically. And after all that, I'm sure you're very interested to figure out when and where you can get it. And I'm very happy to say that Unity 5.6 is in open beta today, so you can get it today at unity3d.com/beta. We also have it in our booth in the expo floor if you want to, we have all these scenes. If you think I'm cheating with the market style or want to make some things pink yourself, you can come and try it out. And we'll be shipping Unity 5.6 on March 31st this year.